Well, here we are for episode number 3 of the Damaged Diecast reviews for the Miscraft Cup Series. We're on to season number 6, so we're getting into 2020 now, where COVID came up and I had a whole bunch more time to spend on these races. I have 12 race cars here to show you guys from season number 6, and oh boy, I cannot wait to show them to you, so let's go ahead and get started, shall we? First up on the list from the Daytona 500, my second most viewed video currently is the crash where Kyle Larson flew up in the air on the back straightaway heading into turn number 3. And this race car is pretty beaten up here. We've got the door kind of caved in here from when he kind of hit the wall there. We got a little bit of side damage here. Didn't really do too much other than kind of just scuff up the fenders here and make sure that the top of the race car had a little bit of damage as well. This car wasn't the most detailed when it came to making sure that every little nook and cranny of the race car was taken care of when it comes to detail, but you know, it's still a pretty cool looking diecast damaged car. So overall, you know, it's a solid one. All right, next up is from the Phoenix Raceway from race number 2. We've got Brad Keselowski and Alex Bowman. And this is one of those races where people forget that it had 2 damaged race cars, but Bowman got a little bit of damage and he was able to continue racing. So he got damage swiped here and by, I think it was Joey Logano, I believe. And so I took a yellow Sharpie and I put it on that car, and then I scuffed up the tires here to make it look like he got some damage, and I think he hit the wall there too. That's why you see some of the blue there from the Phoenix wall. This one was also kind of in the same boat where I think the same car that Keselowski ran into, I put a yellow onto the car from that contact. And then I started putting some Sharpie on the car as well to kind of show a little bit more detail there. Damaged the top side of the deck lid here with the spoiler to show that he kind of got off the ground a little bit and kind of angled into out to the inside wall. And you can see with the curvature of the race car itself here that it definitely looks like he hit the inside wall and kind of pushed the car around from each corner. So you can see I scuffed up the tires a bit there and as well. And overall, you know, this is a solid car. This is one of those crashes I was really interested to make because I don't really do that many restart crashes anymore. But this is one of those crashes I think turned out really well for a restart crash because I had so much extra room to the inside of the racetrack on Phoenix. Overall, this one turned out pretty well, and I am looking forward to getting to the rest of these. So we're going to move on pretty quick because we've got a lot of them. Next up was from Texas that season, Clint Boyer. Kind of the same crash that Keselowski did, but opposite, where he hit the outside wall with the left side of the car. He just got loose and slammed the wall, and honestly, this is one of my favorite crashes from the season. I don't know why. So you can see that the front of the car is bent in here on the left front, and a lot of damage here to this part of the race car. Again, I didn't take out the Goodyear on the tires for some reason. I wish I did. Overall, kind of probably just took a hammer to this one and got the left front taken care of there. So overall, this car is pretty cool, but it's not cool enough. So we're moving on to the next one. Next one is one that I kind of did not the greatest job on. I really just took a hammer to the back side of this one. I did take pliers to the bottom side for the plastic to take out, or else all of this back here would have been harder to kind of bend in. This is from Iowa when Chris Buescher backed into the outside wall with contact from another car, and that's basically all the damage is. There's nothing else going on the front of the car. Well, I guess there is a little bit here from when I used the hammer to kind of smack the car down into the ground to bend the backside. But other than that, this car is really just a bent rear end and some plier work there on the fenders. Excuse me, the quarter panels. Just kind of flared out, and I don't know where the tires went. Don't ask me about that. Yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it for this Chris Buescher car. Next up was the first flip of the season, and it came out of the Colorado Speedway, the track custom designed by Macwell that I built, which I thought was a pretty cool thing to do for that season. And so the first flip of the season came for Denny Hamlin. He hit the wall and kind of just had a force flip there, and then it just started a barrel roll on him. I don't know why I do this thing where I scuff up the doors so much. I don't know why I do that, because it doesn't really look all that natural, you know? I mean, I guess this side would make sense that it kind of hit like that and then kind of spun around, but there wouldn't be that much scuff in real life. So I guess it is part of the art design back then, but it really wasn't I wasn't thinking too much. So I did get some damage on the top of the race car on the hood there, on the roof, excuse me, there. Bent in some of the pillars here in the back window, and there really isn't much spoiler to bend down, so I didn't really get to do too much of that. So there's the Denny Hamlin car, and we're moving on. All right, so this is my second least favorite diecast car from the season. This one, the first hammer hit I had on this race car, I was like, dude, I ruined this. I ruined this diecast. It's not gonna look very good. So I got a lot of comments that the roof of the car was squished. This car only hit the inside wall. This is kind of has a funny story to it because this was a little bit after the 2020 Darlington race where Chase Elliott got hooked by Kyle Busch. And so I thought it'd be really funny if I did the inverse of that and where Chase Elliott hooked Kyle into the inside wall. And all the Chase Elliott fans loved it, and it was really funny to see. So it is what it is. I'm not going to look at this one for too much longer because it looks absolutely hideous, and the next 3 cars are some of my favorites from the season. So we're going to go ahead and move on. All right, these next 3 cars are from the Talladega race, and I actually made a video on me damaging these cars because before this, I hadn't made a tutorial video on how I damaged my cars. All right, so Kevin, are you ready for this, buddy? You're not going to survive the next 5 minutes. The first one up is Kevin Harvick here. You're going to see that the bottom side of this one is not doing so hot. I damaged this car a lot, and I damaged the roof of it by accident. Hammer that back! When I made the video for this, and so you can kind of see that I didn't really do the best job of making sure that I was doing this efficiently. It was kind of more for just the funny moments and funny, I guess, memories, just to make that one video. I think what happened here was the bottom side of the car was like jutting out, and I didn't really have the ability to push it back in. So I just broke off half of it, and then I taped the wheels back in. It's just some plain old clear tape, so it's nothing too special there. But yeah, this race car was pretty cool. I really liked how fluid this crash was. I love the way that the front end these cars look when they get just the front end damage. So next up is the first big one, like big one of the year, was the Chase Elliott crash. This is one of my most popular crashes as well, where Elliott slams into the wall and he gets up on his door. I absolutely love that crash. Pretty minimal with the damage work here. Just kind of did the majority of the damage here on the left side of the car and kind of crumbled in both corners on the left side here. This is something that I was talking about with the Paul Menard car in the last episode, where there's just a whole bunch of base color that comes out when I scuff it. So that I really don't like that much. Next up is the next flip from the season, and it's Kyle Busch's number 18 M&M's Toyota. It was one of my first blowovers, I think. Was it the first blowover I had with a damaged car? I believe it might have been. This car, you know, again, has that weird base scuff. You can kind of see there's a little bit of a yellow base to it in some areas, and it kind of scratches in and out. This race car looks pretty cool. I really like the M&M's paint schemes, and this one was pretty neat to damage up and kind of make fly through the air. So, you know, 2 races in a row for Kyle Busch getting damaged, but the whole Talladega set is one that's really cool. If I ever sold this would probably be the first one I would do a set for, and then I'd probably do one from season 7. So, but other than that, this is a pretty solid race of damaged diecast, and we're gonna move on. All right, the final 2 here we're gonna do pretty quick because they aren't the greatest cars in the world. And they don't have too much damage to them. So the Joey Logano car here was from Atlanta, where he blew out his right rear tire. Nothing too crazy here, just some scuffs up on both sides of the car. I took off the Sharpie. Originally, I think it did have Sharpie on these tires, but I think I took them off because I wanted him to continue racing in these. And so I think I kind of wiped it off. I forget how I did it, though. So yeah, this car doesn't have too much going for it here. It's kind of just a blowout car. It's kind of just an aesthetic car. So nothing too crazy here. And moving on to the last one of the video, which again isn't the craziest. It is Eric Almirola. This one got reused quite a bit. And the reason this is dangling is because when I damaged the car, this fell off. So I think I've reused this car like 3 or 4 times. And this was in the Bristol race in the finale when he and Alex Bowman tangled together. And I'm not proud of this race car, really, honestly, at all. It's just the front nose of this car is just him getting squished into the wall at 2 different angles, and it kind of looks like that. But the way that the undercarriage kind of shows and the spoilers falling off. Other than that, that's basically it for season number 6. So we're going to move on to season 7, and I think I'm going to join season 8 in that one. Thank you all for watching here from the season number 6 review. Comment below which damaged diecast and crash was your favorite from season number 6. And, well, we'll see you guys next time in the review video for season number 7. See you guys.